because the version of yourself you grow up with is heavily influenced by others, you know, because you're a kid, you're learning, you're growing, you're trying to fit into society. And unfortunately, a lot of people never break past that boundary, you know, of fitting the mold of society, fitting what their parents wanted, you know, trying to impress people and stuff like that. Like, a lot of it, of what I've learned over life, is just really, and if you summed it all together, self-reflection. And like, now this whole podcast is kind of just becoming like a self-reflection talk, but I'm so serious. That was like one of the most important life lessons I've ever learned. Another thing that I've learned more recently, as I'm sure a lot of people have, but I've always kind of thought of, is that it is really hard to be a good person. It really is. There's a lot of evil out there. There's a lot of evil people. And like, you think, oh, I stole a candy bar from the store when I was 12. I'm such a bad person. But then like you go on YouTube and watch all these locals, or like you see like obviously the Epstein stuff, and you're like, oh, I'm a pretty good person. Like, that's horrible. Like all the shit these people are doing. And that's the thing, right? Like, all people have flaws, have problems, and on a day-to-day basis, or, you know, maybe assholes and stuff like that. But you have to try really hard to be that evil, but you also have to try really hard to be a good person, like Jesus or Gandhi, or, you know, like just those examples people use all the time. And finally, the last life lesson that I can think of that has just really changed me as a person is the fact that the world is just so complicated. Like, I'm the type of person that used to be, and still am sometimes, I'm trying to get better, but like, if I learned about one subject, I would want to learn everything there is to know about it. Like when I started learning coding, I wanted to know how compilers worked. I wanted to know how assembly worked. I wanted to know every detail about assembly. What do all the assembly codes mean? How does that, you know, what kind of math do you have to do? Binary operations do you have to do? All that kind of stuff, right? And when you take a step back at it and you look at the big picture, that's almost impossible to learn. That's called specialization. And I would do this in high school too. I would learn about physics. I'd be like, oh, physics is so cool. I'm going to be a physicist. I'm going to learn all about this. And like, this kind of is like another podcast idea. I come up with so many podcast ideas while I'm just doing these rants, but it's kind of like that saying of like, you can't be the jack of all trades because you'll be the master of none, or something like that, you know? And that is just so true. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Either you're going to know a lot about a lot of stuff, but never be an expert in anything, or you can really focus on one area and just be really good at that one thing, but then you're going to lack in a lot of other areas, right? So you kind of have to decide if in your life you're a generalist or you're a specialist, right? And because it's just impossible. Like, I like so many different things. I like gardening, I like coding, I like music, I like singing, I like podcasting, I like making media, I like editing videos, blah, 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 blah. And like, dude, you only have 24 hours in a day, and most of that is spent sleeping, eating, pissing, shitting, and taking care of yourself and stuff, right? Especially if you have kids.